Hey guys, I'm Shawn.
I'm Shawnie.
We're an electric toothbrush company that today is telling you to stop selling electric toothbrushes. And that when you do, not only will it be the best thing for your patients, but also the practice and the profession. And it's as simple as care beyond the chair. You see, the current electric toothbrush model is broken. We spoke with some of the top performing practices around the country and found out that hardly any of them are still selling electric toothbrushes. But for those of you that are still selling them, let's go over the reasons why. It must be because you make lots of money selling them, right?
So we had the honor of meeting Genevieve Poppy at ADOM last month, and she came up to us and told us that she had just given a talk and voiced her opinion on selling electric toothbrushes. So here's what she told us. She said, "Okay, you guys, for those of you still selling electric toothbrushes and trying to make money, okay, go ahead and sit down. You could make tens of dollars."
So I had never heard it quite put that way, like trying to make lots of money and it being referred to as tens of dollars. It sounds kind of absurd. So that's not the reason. It must be because of all the value that you're giving to your patient, right?
It's no secret that your patients can get the same exact brush that you're selling in your office on Amazon or Costco for way cheaper.
Okay, so it's not the value. It's not because you make lots of money. It must be because your patients really want the national brand, right?
You know, the executives at Gillette, they thought the same thing until a little company called the Dollar Shave Club came around, and they totally disrupted the industry. They proved it was complete old school thinking to believe that consumers would actually stick loyal to a brand when a new, compelling option came about that actually brought them value.
So that's not the reason either. So if you're selling electric toothbrushes, you spend $1,000 or thousands of dollars today to make tens of dollars in 3 to 6 months. You deal with the hassle of inventory, buying and selling brushes, and you even run the risk of your patients experiencing that terrible feeling when they go to Costco and they realize they could have got 2 for that same price. The current electric toothbrush model is broken. That is why we created Care Beyond, or Zana. At Zana, we believe a brush can be more than a brush. It can be a way for you to extend your care beyond the chair. How? By selling electric toothbrushes? No. By enrolling your patients in a care program, Care Beyond the Chair.
Okay, so how many of you have ever been on a first date? And how often does that first date never lead to a second date? So when a new patient comes in your practice, it's your first date. So why is it that a new patient wouldn't come back?
It's as simple as perceived indifference. So if we get down to the humanity of it all, what that means is they don't experience any sort of connection. Now, it's important to note that when you get a new patient, it doesn't mean you have a relationship with them. It is simply the opportunity to build a relationship. So here your patient is in your practice for this amount of time, and then they enter what we like to refer to as the world beyond the chair. And we're saying, what is it that you're doing to develop and bring along that relationship with your patient in the world beyond the chair?
So let's imagine a patient comes into your practice, and we'll just call her Susie. She's a new patient, and she has a fine experience. Your team was friendly, there were no issues, and your hygienist recommends that she buys an electric toothbrush from you. But Susie shops at Costco, so she recalls that she saw that same exact brush at Costco when she was shopping last week for like 2 for the price of 1. So she doesn't buy the brush, and Susie goes home, and over the course of the next 6 months, she's out living her life in the world beyond the chair. When she's due for her hygiene visit, do you think that there's a chance that she might not come back to your practice? Absolutely. There was nothing that furthered the relationship along. There was nothing that kept her connected to your office. It's like you wouldn't go on a first date today, not talk to the person, and then 6 months from now expect to just go on a second date, would you? So let's play this out. Same patient, but now she goes into your practice and you're a Zana practice. So she has a similar experience, your staff was friendly, there were no issues, and instead of selling her an electric toothbrush, your hygienist recommends that she enroll in your office care program. Susie gets to get the amazing Zana brush for half off. So right away, she's super excited because she's getting a great deal. And she gets to get free replacement heads for life when she comes back in for her hygiene visits. So again, she's really excited because she shops at Costco. She knows how expensive those replacement heads are. When Susie goes home that night and she's brushing, your practice name, phone number, and website is front and center on the brush. So that 2 times a day, 7 days a week, every single time she brushes, your information is front and center. She feels connected to your office, and that patient loyalty is building. Fast forward 6 months from now, do you think there's a way greater chance that she will return to your practice? Absolutely.
The fastest way to grow the practice of your dreams is to get your patients feeling like they belong. Let me tell you about a company that did just that. So 15 years ago, all over college campuses, there were these weird slipper-like shoes. You guys probably remember, right? Tom's shoes. Every time you bought a pair got donated to children in need in Argentina. But what was it about the shoe that people were just so fanatical about? You see, on every shoe was this little blue and white flag, the flag of Argentina. It made it more than a shoe. It made it a symbol of care. This brush, this is an amazing toothbrush, but when your practice information is on it front and center, it makes it more than a brush. It's a symbol of your care. There's this really important moment that I want you guys to understand that your patient goes through all the time. I like to refer to it as the mailbox moment. Now, as a marketer, I'm obsessed with this because I love to see what catches my attention. So your patient gets these new rock bottom patient specials all the time. And what are they aimed at? They're aimed at breaking patient loyalty. Now, there's only 2 things that can happen when your patient sees this. If they are indifferent and they don't feel connected to you, your practice is viewed as a commodity. And what happens with commodities? The lowest price wins. But now what happens when they feel connected and they feel engaged and they feel like they're part of a family? When your patient sees this, they see a face, or the faces of your team, and they feel like they belong. Guys, there has been a shift. It is no longer about selling electric toothbrushes. It's about enrolling your patients so you can extend care. It's no longer simply about it being a transaction with your patient, but about extending lifetime value. And it's no longer about the brush simply being about the technology, but about being more than a brush, a symbol of your care, so that ultimately as a profession, we can raise the standard of care.
So stop selling electric toothbrushes the old school way.
Join Zana today and get your patients coming back.
By extending your care beyond the chair.